I worked for the broadcast wire, which is, I wrote the news that people read on radio stations. It's called Rip and Read. When you don't have your own news department at a radio station, you would go to the AP machine over there and you would rip it off and sit down and just read it on the air. And that was what I did. The Dallas Bureau of the Associated Press, this was 1973, I think, was the 72, December 72. It was December 1972. And we were the test bureau for computers for all of the Associated Press. And I hated it. I truly hated the machine. I was comfortable with the typewriter. I didn't like anything about this. It smacked of arithmetic and numbers. This is before Mac. And I had to know combinations of keys and numbers to do things. I really hated it. One night, late at night, I wrote a long, chatty letter to a friend on my computer. They were basically word processors is what they were. And in it, I maligned the Dallas City Council, a Dallas newspaper. Dallas, I'm from Houston. They don't like people from Dallas. And the Vietnam War, and a man I was dating. And I went on to say that a mutual friend, Renee Peterson, was leaving. And when she left, I would be the only woman left among the 16 writers at the AP Bureau in Dallas. And if the bureau chief, and I named him, Jim Mangan, Jim Mangan, wanted to rid himself of his obvious discriminatory guilt, he must now hire a half-black Chicana lesbian who could handle the AP style book. Now, I've got a printout of my letter. I put it in an envelope and I sent it to my friend in Alaska. I thought I hit all the keys right. I was not such a big fool that I sent it out over the Associated Press wire. Well, not entirely. I had hit one key wrong, and it went on hold in the Associated Press. And it went on hold in such a way, and many people have tried to explain to me exactly what I did. I can't tell you what I did, but I can tell you the effect. The following morning was the Apollo 17 moonshot. And the Associated Press had invited the managing editors and the news directors of every radio station, television station, and newspaper in all of the United States to come to NASA in Houston to see how well their new computers worked. The bulletin for liftoff of the Apollo 17 moon rocket somehow keyed my letter, which then went out over the Associated Press A-wire, the main wire, everywhere. Well, I was fired. I was fired only because the AP lawyers told them that they could not, no matter how good an idea it was, and they all thought it was a grand idea, have me shot. In fact, for years after that, there was a paragraph in the AP style book referred to as the Ellerbee paragraph about not ever using your computers for personal letters. And the AP has a very long memory, but interestingly enough, this last winter, I was in Mexico, and a fellow called me who knew that I was down there working on a new book, and he said, I have something for you from the CEO of the Associated Press. And he came over, and he handed me a book. It's a fabulous book about the AP. And he handed me a personal note. And inside the book, the CEO of the AP had written, Dear Linda, all is forgiven. Please come home. So I guess, a lot of people along the way from time to time actually have accused me of doing that on purpose. I assure you I did not. It was hugely humiliating. Because not only had I messed myself up with the AP, but with anyone else who might hire me who subscribed to the AP. And of course, that was every organization in journalism. And the only way I've ever been able to explain what happened next is to remind people that Lizzie Borden was acquitted. Because what happened next was I got job offers from UPI, the Dallas newspaper that I had maligned in my letter, a couple of radio stations, and the CBS television affiliate in Houston, Texas. And the news director for the CBS television affiliate called, and he said, "Boy, you write funny." And I said, "Boy, I didn't mean to." And he said, "Have you ever thought about television?" Well, I had just come back from living on a commune in Alaska, and I had all of the arrogance of a print reporter anyway, and I said to him, he said, "Have you ever thought about television?" And I said, "Certainly not. I've seen it." And he said, "Well, that's too bad because we pay twice what the Associated Press pays." And I said, "I think I could learn television." And that's how I went to work in television. I was hired over the telephone.